Hi, my name is Peter Kelly from Rationale Australia. I'm going to give you an introduction to the Self-Cooking Centre. Now, prior to using your Self-Cooking Centre, it's important that the unit has been commissioned before its first use. So if your unit has not been commissioned, it's important that you call our service team at Comcater on 1800 810 161. Once the unit is ready for operation, you can turn the unit on using the on and off key at the top. And now we'll have a look at the basic operating concept for your self-cooking centre. It's broken down into 5 key areas. We have our manual cooking control, we have our iCooking control for our intelligent cooking processes, our iLevel control on the bottom left-hand side for cooking mixed load items together, down the bottom with our programming in the middle, and on the right-hand side, our care control for cleaning. We'll start first by having a look at the manual cooking options. Once you select your steaming icon, starting from the very top, you have the option for your humidity control. This one cannot be changed when we're doing steaming. The next icon down is your temperature control. You can do anywhere from 30 degrees to 130 degrees. So low temperature steaming for sous vide applications, poached fish, egg dishes. General steaming would be at your boiling point, indicated by that icon there, and then up to 130 degrees for higher temperature steaming. Once you've selected the temperature in which you'd like to cook at, you can then choose for the amount of time that you would like to cook, again by using your finger with the slide bar or selecting the timer and adjusting with the dial. You also have the core temperature probe which you can choose to cook with. So by selecting the core temperature of your item that you wish to cook to, the current temperature is always displayed as well. On the right hand side, you'll notice there's a T with the arrow up. That icon indicates our preheating symbol, and once selected, you'll see the unit begin to preheat with a status bar until it fills all the way to the end. Once the preheat is complete, the alarm will sound and your products can be then loaded. The clock on the far end signals continuous operation. Okay. So once you're beginning to cook, you also have an option down the base here for your fan speed with 5 different levels. Level 4 is our normal fan speed, but you may require a lower fan speed, in which case just touching on the fan icon and using the dial to make your selection. The last key you'll see is the T with the arrow down. Similar to the T with the arrow up for our preheating, the T with the arrow down allows you to cool down the unit. This may be required when switching from a hot air mode back to a steaming mode if you've been doing, say, a pan-fried dish or a roasted dish and then would like to do some steaming operations. All we need to do is simply select that T with the arrow down. It will ask us to open the door up, then it will ask us to close the door, and once again it may ask you to then open the door, at which case the fan will kick in and all of the hot air will be released from the cabinet, cooling down to the temperature which you have selected. Once it's cooled down to that temperature, you can then begin your cooking process. So that's our steaming icon. If we move to the next one with our combi steam, you'll notice it's very familiar and much the same as our steaming. The only difference here is that now we can adjust the amount of humidity to any percentage we like, again with 60% being the default, and we have a temperature range anywhere between 30 and 300 degrees. Okay. Again, you can use your finger or the dial to choose the temperature that you may like, and the icon's similar below. The only new icon that you'll see also is a moisturing icon. This allows you to add single injections of moisture at any time throughout the cooking. And to our dry heat mode, again, very much the same. The only difference being that we're able to extract humidity to any level as well. So this would allow you to increase coloration, more browning on the product, hence a crispier product as well. So it's used for grilling steaks, it's used for doing your pork crackling, anything where we're trying to extract humidity out of the cabinet. So that's our manual cooking operations. The next operating area we're going to look at is the iCooking control. And this is our intelligent cooking processes with the Rationale Self-Cooking Centre. Through the middle here, you'll see icons for poultry, meat dishes, seafood dishes, egg dishes, all of your side dishes, bakery items, and there's a little plate icon for finishing icons, which we'll talk about later. Starting with the poultry on the top left-hand side, these are just basic cooking methods for you to operate with. For example, we start with roasting chicken, pan-fried options, grilled options, crumb poultry, and then we get into some more specific things like ducks and duck breast and geese and turkey, example on the other side. To give you an idea of how these intelligent cooking processes work, we'll first have a look at the roasted chicken process. If we were to be doing roast chicken, for example, the first thing we would do is select the roast chicken process. Then we give it options for our coloration. In this case, we can choose anywhere from light to dark, with the recommended setting being on level 2. And then all we need to know is our degree of cooking, whether we would like it anywhere from medium through to well done. Simply make the selection that you would like to choose, and then close the cabinet door. The unit will automatically begin to preheat. On the display here in the cockpit, you will see the current conditions in the cabinet, and once the unit has been preheated, it will alarm and ask you to load the product. At which point you can open the door. In this case, we're loading roast chicken, so our roast chickens would go in. It's signaling for me to insert the core temperature probe, in which case I can grab the probe from down the bottom of the cabinet here. Now this probe has 6 measuring points. So when we're inserting it into the chicken, we're trying to get as much coverage as we can on the chicken and in the thickest part. So typically that goes inside and next to the breastbone. Okay, so your probe will go into the chicken, we'll load our product in, close the door, and the ideal cooking conditions for your roast chicken will be determined. The unit will automatically determine how much load is in, so it doesn't matter if you're cooking 1 chicken, 4 chickens, or 24 chickens inside the cabinet at the same time. The Rationale Self-Cooking Center will automatically determine the best conditions. We'll see here on the screen inside our messenger, by pushing that yellow eye icon, that it has completed a probe position check and adjusted the time to do our cooking. It will also determine the size of the products, and on the screen you will see the remaining cook time along with the current core temperature and our target core temperature. As your cycle progresses through the different stages and comes nearer to the end of cooking, the cooking paths will constantly change. Once the cooking has been complete, the unit will alarm, and there'll be a range of options on the bottom right-hand side depending on the cooking process that you're currently operating. For this example here, we've got the option to transfer the core temperature probe from a smaller item to a larger item, or insert a completely new batch. If you're unsure about any of these images or icons, or have any questions relating to what you may be seeing on the screen, at any time you're able to touch on the question mark down on the bottom. The question mark will bring up the user manual and guide you through exactly in every detail any questions that you might have. So heading back to our main screen, we've had a look at some of the poultry items. Now those cooking methods transfer across to same at our meat dishes with roasting processes, even cooking those dishes overnight. Same for our seafood dishes, doesn't matter if we're doing grilled or pan fried or steamed, there's a process for each of those items available there. Egg dishes, very similar, doing poached eggs, doing scrambled eggs, doing desserts, any dishes containing eggs. On the right hand side we have our side dishes, and in our side dish that can contain anything from roast vegetables through to savoury baked dishes, through to steamed rice, or even cooking pasta in sauce. There's lots of different options for those. On the bottom left hand side you'll see our bakery items. We have everything from cooking bread rolls, biscuits and cakes, through to muffins and pizzas, and even Danish products as well. On the bottom right hand side you'll see our plate keg for doing either plated banquets or finishing items in bulk dishes. We also have options to use your Self-Cooking Center as a holding cabinet or for dehydrating dishes as well. You would notice also within our iCooking control, when we have a look in any of those processes, down the bottom area You will also see similar processes that are listed up the top, but they will contain our eye level control signal. Okay, this means that these processes may be used for mix loading, which leads us into our next area. So eye level control is where we're doing any cooking of dishes with mixed loads. One example of that is our breakfast basket. So here we have typical items that we cook for breakfast, whether it's bacon, sausages, mushrooms, tomatoes, fried eggs, and they can all be cooked together at the same time. The benefit of the eye level control is that as we are cooking these items, there's no need to have to monitor or check and see what's going on with any of the dishes. As soon as we drag and drop the items in, the cooking process will begin for each of those items, so they're simply loaded onto their corresponding shelf within the cabinet. We can, as you see here, drag those items in as required, or we can simply touch on the item that's required and then on the left hand side touch on the shelf in which we're going to load that item in. So as your item comes closer to the end of cooking, you'll also hear the alarm sound and signal for you to remove that item. In this case, it's shelf number 2. That time you can open up the cabinet door. You'll also see that our LED lights are indicating that shelf number 2 is to be removed. So that corresponds directly with the tray that's required. We're able to remove that item out, close the door, and our remaining items would continue to cook. So eye level control can be used in many different scenarios, whether it's breakfast, something like this, or whether you're just doing steam dishes, any of those cases where you're doing mixed loads continuously. Down the bottom in the middle, you'll find our programming key. Now the programming key allows you to create and save your recipes within the Self-Cooking Centre. This is done by selecting the blank piece of paper up on the top left-hand side, simply naming the item you may be cooking. In this case, it may be roast beef. So giving the program a name, hitting the tick down the bottom. You'll then be given a range of options as to how you would like to cook this. You can choose to cook it manually, but in this case, I'll use the intelligent cooking processes by selecting the meat key, selecting that I'm going to do roast, and that I'm going to do it gently to a core temperature of 70 degrees. That's as simple as it is. Once you're happy with that as your selection, we hit the notepad down the bottom, and now my roast beef process is saved into my recipe book for all of my staff to use. You can also create recipes in your programming guide for eye level control for when we're doing mix loads. You're able to copy and edit recipes. You're able to change how those recipes are then displayed. And you'll see with some of these that we can even add pictures to those icons as well. And on the right hand side, if you wanted to delete a recipe, you'll see the trash can. Simply touch on the trash can, the highlighted item in the large box will go yellow, and once you hit that trash can again, the item is deleted. So basically giving that a double tap will remove the item in the larger box. As we exit out of our programming key, we'll go into our last option, which is our care control for the cleaning side of things. As we look inside the cleaning icon, you'll find that there's 7 different levels of cleaning to choose from. They start with a rinse without tabs, a basic rinse of your cabinet, a rinsing cycle for those that may have just been doing steaming or light cooking during the day, an interim cleaning cycle for those that do heavy cooking and may clean throughout the day, light cleaning through to save and medium, and then heading down to strong at the bottom. So a light would give you a basic clean, save doing a little bit longer clean but using less chemicals than a light clean, the medium cleaning cycle for a slightly heavier clean, and strong that those are in constant operation most of the day with a heavy soiling inside the cabinet. When it comes to cleaning, you'll need just a few items. We have our Rationale Care tabs, our Rationale Clean tabs, and a pair of gloves. Okay, so prior to cleaning, as your unit becomes increasingly dirty throughout the day, you may see this cleanliness scale start to change until it gets even right down to the dirty side of things. You may even get a prompt like this on the screen in asking you to clean throughout the day, okay? At which case you can choose to clean now or later. So once you're done with all of your cooking for the day, it's recommended that your Rationale Self-Cooking Centre gets a clean every single day. By selecting to do the clean cycle, once you've been using the unifier, you may even see some icons pop up here, giving you a recommended cleaning cycle. Okay, in this case we may be doing a medium cleaning cycle, which would require 1 of our blue care tablets and 2 of our red cleaning tablets. You'll notice on the screen the first bit of information is to remove grids and containers. So you want to ensure that only your ladder racks are left inside the cabinet, no trays left inside at all. It'll also show you on the screen where the tablets are due to go. So once we pop on our gloves, we're able to then load the tablets into the Self-Cooking Centre. So I have my gloves on ready to do my cleaning. All I need to do is open the door. Down the bottom here you will find the blue care drawer. Now that corresponds with our blue packets of our care tablets. On the screen you will see 1 packet of the blue tablets. Now this packet contains 4 tablets. They all go inside the care drawer, and then we close the drawer up ready for cleaning. So simply peeling open the packet, dropping the tablets into the drawer and close the drawer. For our cleaning tablets, they will go inside the cabinet, inside the fan wheel. So you can simply remove the shelf by lifting up. It will gently swing out to the side. I can then unwrap my cleaning tablet and load that inside the fan wheel. Once all the tablets are in place, it's important that we position those shelves back in their original position, and now we're ready to begin the cleaning. I simply close the door and the unit begins the cleaning straight away. It's important at this stage that we do not open the door as indicated on the unit. Once the cleaning is complete, we'll see it actually begin to rinse, then clean, then dry, and it will automatically go into a standby function once the cleaning is complete. So that is how you clean your Self-Cooking Centre. Along with your cleaning, there's also some basic care and maintenance you'll need to do to look after your Self-Cooking Centre. Some of those things include cleaning the exterior of the unit itself. Now this is best done with just a soft cloth, not a sponge scour or anything that is going to damage the outside of the unit. When we open up the door, there is also some other areas to clean. We're going to want to be wiping down regularly this area inside the door frame. Also cleaning the drip trays at the base of the unit as well. So when we're cleaning the drip trays, it's important that we wipe from the drainage point away. So rather than wiping any grease or soil or anything into the drain, we're wiping that away from the drain and continue that along the door frame. You may also need to wipe and maintain and clean your door seal as well. And also cleaning in time your interior door glass. So that is simply released at the top and the bottom. You'll see your door glass come free. In this case we have triple glazing, so both of those panels would come free. Now once a week you may need to be cleaning in this area to keep the glass nice and clean so you can see through to your products. Once you've completed the cleaning, just giving it a firm push away from the clips and the door glass will lock back into place top and bottom. One other item to keep in mind is also the air filter, which sits at the base of the cooking cabinet. Your air filter can be moved by pushing in on the air filter on the left and right hand sides, and it will simply drop out and come free. This air filter just needs to be wiped down, free of any dirt or grease, and then can be replaced back into your Self-Cooking Centre. So that's some basic care, maintenance and cleaning for your self-cooking centre. But you may also want to arrange a preventative maintenance program through Comcater, your service agent, to look after your self-cooking centre for its entire life. If you're looking for information on your service details, there's a sticker on the right hand side which will have our service number, and it also has our Rationale Chef hotline number. This can also be found in your unit settings. Down the bottom in the toolbox, you'll see our chef hotline number along with our service hotline. Our chef hotline is available 7 days a week from 8 till 8, and our service hotline is available 24 hours, 7 days a week. With your self-cooking centre, we aim to support you as much as we possibly can. The Rationale Chef line is available to you at any time, and we also have Rationale Academy events, which you can register on our website. Thank you for watching this introduction to the Self-Cooking Centre, and should you need any further help, please don't hesitate to come in contact with Rationale Australia.